All right, peace and blessings, family. This is brother Shareef and Ptah Shakur with the Hour of Power. We are very excited about our guests we're having on this evening. It's going to be very informative and entertaining at the same time. We'll just open up with our universal prayer, and we'll get right into the much anticipated interview with our good brother here. In the name of God, the gracious, the merciful, we give him praise and thanks for his mercy and his goodness to the human family. If all the trees upon the earth were pens to write with, and if all the oceans were ink, and then another 7 oceans to add to its supply, the writing would still not be enough to explain the glory of God, for he's the gracious, the merciful. We confide in no other in our time of need, and we praise no other in our good fortune. He is one. And even if I lived to be 1,000, it would still not be enough to thank God for his many blessings and gifts. We thank God for the Metu Neter, oracles, scriptures, and writings that came on the continent of Africa thousands of years before any organized religion. We thank God for Moses in the Torah, Jesus in the Gospel, and Muhammad with the Quran. I greet everyone in words of peace. To my Christian family, praise the Lord. To my Muslim family, assalamu alaikum. To my Hebrew Israelite family, shalom. To my Black conscious family, hotep. To my Native American family, halito. And to my people in the streets, what's good to you? It all means peace. So here we are with the Hour of Power. I'll turn it over to my good brother Ptah, and then we will get into this much anticipated interview. Peace to all.
Peace to all, Grand Rising, that all everyone is listening. This program is going out live on the White Rose Community Television channel 16 and channel 18, as well as this is streaming on Facebook, and then later on it will be downloaded to YouTube. This is a community program. Like I said, I'm Ptah Shakur. I am a local activist, as you could say, spiritualist, channel, Reiki practitioner. Overall, this program is designed as a community program. We want to hear from you. If you have a wonderful story that you feel as though the body or the family needs to know about, such as far as any type of business opportunities or entrepreneurial projects you all are working on. We want to hear for our youth as well. We believe our youth is our future. Some of the most divine souls are reincarnated through our youth, and we do our due diligence to make sure we unlock the greatness. So we want to hear those positive stories. We hear negative stories. So whether you got some youth out there that are moving into entrepreneurial aspects or going away to college, going away to forms of higher learning, or going into the military, we want to hear for that, as well as diversity. We believe moving into this new frequency and this new energy, we got to hear from each other. So if you got something in your heart, it's best to go ahead and share it, and we can communicate it so we can all look at it through different perspectives. So this is the most powerful of all hours. This is the Hour of Power broadcast, and so I'm gonna kick it back to brother Shareef, and we're gonna get this interview on the way.
Our good brother Kyle, introduce yourself, man, and don't be shortchanging yourself, being all humble, man. Bring it.
Man, I'm more of a worker, person of action than a talker, but you know what I mean, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to talk and get some things out there for the community. But I'm Kyle Moore, one of the owners. There's 2 of us at this time of Men in the Kitchen restaurant here in York. Kind of like a Cajun fusion cuisine. I'm also known as DJ Moore. I do DJing pretty much mostly weddings. But I do some private events here and there, DJ, photo station, sound, anything of that sort. And I'm also a coach over at Your Country Day, private school, so I do that as well. Just wear many hats, try to help out where I can, try to give our people places to go to have fine dining without going out of town. And so right now, Men in the Kitchen is actually coming first. I have also have Kyle Martin event venue downtown York. We can hold up to 100 people seated, so that's still there. That's still available at this time. So just many avenues to try to get out there and give the people things where they can go out and enjoy themselves, get a good meal, or hear some good music. So that's where I'm at right now.
Great. I don't know how you have time to do all that stuff, man. What made you come up with the idea of men in the kitchen. Why not a woman in the kitchen?
Yeah. So, I'm a self-taught cook. I taught myself to cook. Did a lot of readings. Went through divorce in 2010. Found myself home alone and like, hey, I gotta eat. Going out all the time, trying to eat. At different places, it was expensive. I was by myself, so I said, hey, I'm gonna teach myself how to cook. So, taught myself how to cook. Did a lot of studying. Watched a lot of videos, and I picked up on it pretty quickly. Just started trying things, having family members try things out, and then I said, hey, I'm gonna start posting pictures. So I started posting pictures. Every hashtag I would post, men in the kitchen, because I wanted to promote that to especially the younger generation, younger men, that we can get in the kitchen, we can cook too.
Right.
Like, don't ever get to the point where you're so dependent on anyone where you can't provide for yourself. So taught myself to cook, things that I like to eat when I go out, which is for the most part, I'm a big seafood lover, but taught myself to cook a variety of things. Worked on my presentation. Presentation, we all know the eyes draw you in first. And once the eyes draw you in, now it's just, okay, now does it taste good? So I pride myself on that presentation aspect. But that's where the men in the kitchen came from. I was a single man in the kitchen at the time and learned how to cook, learned how to get through. But as you see with my restaurant, this is funny because this is a lot of comment we get because we have an open kitchen in New York. So when people come in, they see some of the ladies in the kitchen. So first thing they say, where the man at? And I'm like, the man in the kitchen is the concept. Right. That's so
it still has a woman's touch.
Still has a woman's touch. And the menu, everything, the organization, the way everything flows, all the training was done by myself and my partner Justin Coleman from Harrisburg. That's where the men part comes in. We take care of everything. We set them up for success, but we still have that woman's touch. And since opening a year ago, I've had quite a few men in there that just didn't last. And guess who's still there? The women. You know what I mean? So, hey, they're holding it down. Got them trained to the point where the quality is the same whenever you come in. If I'm not there, I want people to know that the quality is still going to be the same no matter what. That was important to me to get to that point where you don't want somebody to say, oh, Kyle's not there, and the food isn't going to be right. You know what I mean? We've seen that with other places. So that consistency was the biggest part. And the women are holding it down, but we are still men in the kitchen.
Right. You know, I don't know if I was one of the first ones to put it in your ear, but a couple years back, you was doing some dinners. Yeah. And they were banging. Yeah. I said, man, this brother needed. I think I said something to you. Remember, I was helping you get them out there. I said, you need to have your own restaurant. Yep. You know, that was a couple years ago.
Yeah. I did, the old school dinners out the house. You know what I mean? And I never did it. So what I did is I did a pre-sale. And I said, I'm selling 100 dinners. Pre-sale, cash at me your money. I'm doing 100 and I'm cutting it off. And you and Ed Rice were doing deliveries for me. It didn't go as smooth as I liked, but that was the first time doing it. But I will say within 48 hours, people cash at me, trusted me, and I was sold out.
Yes.
At 100 mark. So that right there, the community supported it. That was a big deal. I did a chicken and waffles event where I rented out a space and did red velvet chicken waffles, regular waffles. I had fried shrimp, did that. That sold out. So it was early signs that I could do this. But the restaurant part, I wasn't real confident in that because I know it's a whole difference from cooking your house, doing dinners, to doing a restaurant. It's a whole other level, having employees. It's really different. And then I had Rob from Stakeout, Hookers Rob. He said to me a long time ago, he said, man, you DJing. He said, but this food, that's where it's at. He said, you can do it. Like, let me know if you need any help. And just those words there were big to me to say, yo, he sees something. I know I can cook, but now how do I transfer that to the restaurant?
Yes, sir.
So when I met up, I'm a perfectionist. You know what I mean? I don't want to give people a bad product. So it took me from 2010 when I started cooking till 2023 to say, I'm going to go ahead with this. And the first plan was just catering. And then me and my partner contacted Justin Coleman. So Justin Coleman was manager and at one time part owner of Crawdaddy's in Harrisburg.
Okay, I've heard of that.
So I knew he had the experience, some of the experience that I didn't have on the restaurant side.
Gotcha,
So I can cook. I'm not worried about that part.
I was going to ask you about that.
But it's the other part, the paperwork, the organization, what needs to be certified, inspections. He had a lot of experience on that part. So I talked to him. We came together, looked at a couple places here in York. Some places we were turned down from because we didn't have enough, what they say, experience for them. We didn't have a list to show that we had a shop already in the market or we had this. And I'm like, they don't know me. They don't know the following I have. The people that say they want this. Now, are they all going to come? Maybe not. People sometimes say more online than actually coming somewhere, but I knew I had enough of a following where I could make this happen. So right across the street from my home, actually, there was a place that I've been riding by for 6 years that was completely empty. And I would look in the windows like, man, they got a hood system. They got everything you need in here for a kitchen. Why isn't nobody in here? I know location isn't the best, but it's been available for 6 years. So I called Justin. I said, hey, there's a spot we can use for our catering right across the street from my house. He said, yeah. He said, let's take a look at it. So I called Rock. Gentleman there, Ben Bode, he's always responsive. He responds quickly. He shows me respect, and he always, hey, I can get you in there in 2 days. We can look at it. So he also helped me get my place downtown for the event venue. So Rock has been really helpful out of all the real estate places around here with being responsive and just looking at me as they look at everybody else. So we went there, looked at it, and took off from there.
All right, where you're presently at now.
Where
Want to give the
presently at now.
address?
The address is 555 Ryan Run Road, York. It's up north, right off Susquehanna Trail. You can find us on Google. You can look us up on Google. We have a lot of great reviews. We get people of all ethnicities, all backgrounds. That's what I like about it. We serve everyone. And people the response has been great. The response has been great. And they come to us as a destination because we're not the place that you ride by. You know what I mean? We're the place if you're coming to men in the kitchen, you're coming to men in the kitchen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
That's great. A key word you said earlier, not making it a race thing, but consistency. Places that we've had before, we ain't saying no names, and I can attest to it. I'm a York City resident. Is it just haven't been consistent. You know, go there, 1 minute it's open, 1 minute it isn't, and so that is very important that you took that as a foundation of your business there. Did you? We get judged pretty heavy on that.
Oh yeah, you do. And again, I'm an honest person, straightforward. The first 3 months, 4 months, that consistency wasn't always there. And I'm like, I tell my partner Justin, hey, I know we both a little nervous about this. Both two black men making, and I'm not talking money, we're making a good amount at our job. One of us gonna have to leave. For this to be right, one of us gonna have to jump out there. So it came a point where at my position, my company became a little more demanding. I was working for PA Health College in Lancaster. Well, St. Joe's out of Philly bought us out. They kept me, let a lot of administrators go, but they did keep me, which was a blessing. I stayed there January until Labor Day weekend. But it started out, I've had 3, I reported to the vice president because I was director of facilities and basically college operations. So I reported to the vice president. But I had 3 leadership changes from January to September. So it was a lot of miscommunication. Being down in Philly, it was a little rocky. First one said, hey, we need you to come down here to Philly about once a month, check things out, make sure things is good, because I was responsible for a lot of areas down there as well. He said, but most part will be your eyes and ears. I said, sounds good. I'll sign up for that. Second one, we need you to come down here every other week. We need you down here more. Philly's the main campus. Basically, I mean, we need you here more than Lancaster. All right, I can do that. Now, granted, I got a 1.5-year-old son now, which is number one to me.
For sure.
So, third person came along. Hey, we need you to come down here 3 days a week. Oh no. The words of Shannon Sharp. Oh no. That's not gonna happen. So I gracefully bowed out and I went home and I talked to my wife and I said, hey, she said, I see you're stressed. She said, I don't want you driving under 3 days a week. You know what I mean? It's a trip. Didn't offer any more pay, any more compensation, nothing. She said, what do you want to do? I said, I'm going to go 100% into the restaurants. It needed that anyway, but now's the perfect time. She said, go ahead and do it. We'll figure out the money later. And that's what you want to hear. You want to hear from your wife, your person. So that was big, and my biggest thing is I didn't want our lifestyle to change. Okay. She likes to take the trips. I'm fine with 1 a year. She wants 3 or 4. You know what I mean? But I didn't want our lifestyle to change because I made a career change. Right. I want to still do some of those things that we always done. So that's important to me to make sure that she still gets that.
Right.
So yeah, it was a big deal, but I mean, I'm so relaxed now. I'm happy being in the restaurant, greeting people, seeing people in the kitchen, improving things. And that also made it so that we could focus on the new Harrisburg location. Harrisburg location, yep.
Can I speak about that just for one little bit? And just to remind everybody, this is a live call-in show. You can feel free to call in 717-846-5067. I do got some comments on Facebook. We're going to read. We make sure we're going to read those out before we kind of pull out. But I want to just commend you for that. We speak on this program as far as following your passions. You know, and sometimes weird things can happen in this world. I believe God is in everything. So even in that example that you use, you know what I mean, I'm sure that once you pull all your enthusiasm and you find your passion, I know it's going to be successful. And I've seen it myself. I've seen it through other individuals. And anybody who's listening at home right now, if you got an idea that God was just saying, he was driving past you seen the spot like for 6 years it was open. You got to put it in your mind. You have share it with. Imagine you got a team. You got a supportive team. Find your supportive team. Find your passion, and just keep digging at it. Take it like one step further and one step further, and you can, you're a testament to that. Not only you doing the DJing thing, you got the men in the kitchen. You got so much going on. So it's just a shout out and just an inspiration for anybody who's listening at home right now.
Yeah, and one of my biggest selling points is being that one-stop shop. You can contact me, and I can get you your catering. I can have you at my venue or help you find a venue. I can provide sound for your event. I can provide the photo booth. I've been doing this so long. I'm pretty much an event planner. I mean, I could plan your wedding for you and everything be right, because a lot of weddings I go to as the DJ, or when I sit down with that couple and say, are you doing this? Are you doing that? They're like, oh, I didn't think of that. Like, I'm helping them plan through their itinerary almost like a planner. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I make sure everything goes smooth because I've been doing this a while and I pay attention to detail. See it right. Yeah. And I tell people when they pick a wedding DJ, don't just pick your favorite DJ. You might be great at the club, but when it comes time to say, hey, these people's names, or making sure that you're sticking to our itinerary, say, hey, you forgot you didn't cut the cake yet. Oh, that person might not have the experience to make sure everything's still on track. So there's a difference between your favorite DJ and your wedding DJ. You know what I mean? And it might be both. You might be able to do both. Right. But sometimes it's not always the same thing.
Right. Someone asked, what's your menu for Thanksgiving?
Oh.
That's what's on. We got the holiday catering.
Miss Samantha Dorm. She wants to know.
You got it memorized or something? Or you?
Kind of. But
I'll let you go. I feel
we don't really have a holiday menu at the restaurant for Thanksgiving because we know a lot of people like to get away from that turkey and the same old same. So what we try to do at the restaurant per se is offer some more of our other items such as the seafood items, things like that. Yeah. So if you want to get away from the turkey and get away from the traditional, you have another option. Come out and get a piece of fried fish, you know what I mean, something like that. Our Fish Fry Fridays have been big, and I'm going to tell you where that came from. You and Brother John came out that day.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? And Brother John said to me, you know what we used to do out Parkway? We used to do Fish Fry Friday. We offered couple pieces of fish, this platter.
That
He said,
sound
"Man,
like
that's
sound like
good."
Brother John
He
right
was
now.
talking up, sitting there listening to him. I'm like, man, yeah,
Peace to Brother
sound
John.
good. So then I'm like, a month later, I said, "Oh, let's do Fish Fry Friday. We'll do it $15. Couple pieces of fish, two sides. The first people were saying, hey, that one piece of fish ain't enough. That was a big piece of fish. I'm like, all right, we gonna give y'all two or three. We'll bump it up, no problem. We gonna make this good. But that ideal and just that conversation.
Is a particular kind of fish?
Yeah, we do swai fish.
So yeah.
Yeah. But that particular conversation, that came from just a conversation with Brother John.
Yeah.
Stopped out, his energy was good, and that's where that came from.
Oh yeah.
But we do have Thanksgiving options for as far as sides and meats for pickup. I know he has it on his phone right here. It's also on the Men in the Kitchen Facebook page. If you're not following us there, please feel free. If you've been to the restaurant, it just hasn't been on your heart and your mind, go to Google and leave us a reviews. You don't know how many people we get because of our location being where it is. We're not getting that drive-by traffic. Those reviews is what they say. We saw you on Google. You had a 4.8, 4.9. We had to come see what that was about.
Right.
So that really helps. A lot of times our people don't leave reviews until something bad happens. Also make sure you do that if you get something good. But we do have a menu up for Thanksgiving. You can call, place your orders.
So you'll actually be open on Thanksgiving?
So we'll be open till 2 o'clock where you can come get something to eat.
Okay.
And you can also come and pick up your order. You do have to pay in advance. But you come, we'll have your order anytime between 12 and 2. This is what time I want to come. We'll have it for you.
Yeah, I told my boys about it. You know, they're in North Carolina. They was like, Dad, you always introducing us to food spot. I said, well, I got one. I got one for you. So I've been saving it, you know, just for that.
Yeah, I had a longtime friend hit me up. He said, hey, man, I'm by myself first time this year. Me and my lady separated. The kids are coming with me for Thanksgiving. Are you doing those meals again? I said, yeah. So hit me up. Let me know what you need. You can go home, act like you made it yourself. I don't care. You know, put it in a couple bowls. Put it in there. Hey, Dad hooked this up. Hey, whatever worked for you. But I said, yeah, we're here. So let me know what you need.
Besides the Friday fish dinner that you said is pretty successful, what's a big hitter during the week that consistently kind of stands out that you want to let people know about?
Well, you have the regular jumbo lump crab cake, which has been a big deal, especially lately. But our sunken crab cake, which is a jumbo lump crab cake, basically sunken, submerged in our seafood lobster bisque. That's our thing that we came up with, and that's our big seller. Like at first we were only doing it on the weekends, but it became so big, people were asking during the week. I said, man, we gotta sell this thing all the time. And they don't mind paying for it. Because everybody I've heard said, this is something here. Because the lobster bisque, seafood bisque, was popular. And the crab cake was popular. So it's like, let's put them together.
Right.
I mean, and then another thing is our lamb chops. A lot of people around here don't serve lamb chops anymore. I don't know if it's because they go bad fast or what it is.
You touched another nerve right there.
Lamb chops. If someone put a gun to my head and say, "Where can you get lamb chops?" I don't know. You know.
Yeah. So as far as especially small business, a lot of people don't serve them. So we do the lollipop lamb chops, and then as another special we'll be doing, but it'll be on the menu all the time in Harrisburg because we got a bigger kitchen in Harrisburg. So that gives us the ability to keep certain things on the menu at all times. So we have that land and sea sunken crab cake. So you get that same sunken crab cake, but you get it with 2 lamb chops on top of it.
Lamb
as well.
chops, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got my stomach rumbling over here, man.
And now I didn't start a little something. Now everybody talking about the best of all lump. Cynthia Moore, thank you for making that comment out there. Even Gito, I knew you was watching, Gito. Gito put this is real heartfelt too. This is respect. He said, anything I seen this dude, speaking of you, start or do, he showed professionalism and did it his way. I respect that. So
Thank you.
I
brother.
praise.
Appreciate
Thank you out there, Gito. But he said the best crab cake. Anybody out there who you think got the best crab cake? I know that was a conversation kind of going on, and I'll let y'all know at the end of the show who I got my money on. I'm gonna put some money on the table.
All right, this may not be the most comfortable question. it's been going viral the last few days, and York City, York County is on fire. What do you think about the incident with, is it called Paddock?
The pattern.
Paddock restaurant out on East Market. You as being a restaurant owner, what's your take on it?
It's definitely very unfortunate. I'm not going to say from my experience, it's going out there. There's a lot of minorities that actually really do go there. When I've been there, I haven't been surrounded by a lot of minorities. But I can imagine he's not going to add any new ones anytime soon. But it's very unfortunate. Like I said, being in the area that we are in, we pride ourselves on being all-inclusive of everybody. Everybody that comes in, black, white, no matter your preference, your age, we're going to cater to you and treat you the same as we treat everybody else.
Right.
And
Not
that's all
that
people
hard.
want.
It's not that hard.
No, that's all people want, whether you do it in your business and in your personal life. So if you don't do that in your personal life, that's going to carry over to the business. And I make sure that even in my personal life, like, that's what I live by. I don't have no preconceived notion of anybody. I don't treat anybody different. I go off of the way you treat me. I mean, you treat me with respect, I treat you with respect. And I tell people, before I got to the director of operations position, throughout my career, I was a housekeeper at the hospital. So I've been at that lower level and had to work myself up. I wasn't given anything.
Yes, sir.
Parkway, projects. So just that hard work and still having that respect. And when I see that housekeeper, hey, how you doing? Come here. What's going on? You know what I mean? Having that conversation with them, let them know that, hey, what's going on? You need any help with anything? Like, my level of title or whatever I've achieved doesn't change who I am. And some of these people, I just think the problem is they don't have enough of us, especially successful ones, in their
Circle.
space, in their circle. Yeah, they have. They always said this. A lot of these places, we hire minorities and that. Well, you go there and they're the dishwashers, the housekeepers, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what about the high-level positions? I know we've applied. I've applied for several positions and didn't even get an interview. I have a master's degree, all kinds of experience, and I can't get an interview? You know what I mean? So I think the problem is that in some of these higher positions, it's not enough of us in that circle for them to have. Like, even some of the weddings I do, it's funny to me, and I'm a perceptive person. I do a lot of weddings of all races. But I go to, let's say, a wedding with black people, and I see quite a good group of white friends. There's some weddings I go to with some white people, and there's one there. So I just think we need to start coming together more and having more friends from all cultures, backgrounds, races. And I think that once that happens and they get an understanding of who we are, I think that'll make a lot of people more perceptive to how they run their business, how they respond to things, how they treat others. Because there's certain things you just can't come back from. Can't come back from. You still have your supporters, but there's just certain things you can't come back from, and there's certain things you just can't say.
Yes, sir.
So.
Right.
And we reached out, and if I'll forget the gentleman's name, the owner of the Paddock, if you would like to come on this program and help clear the air with the community, the base that actually watches this particular program, I think that'll go a long way with healing. I think that'll.
Now,
be
he
a great
offered an
idea.
apology today at Springersbury Township, and it seemed that the NAACP and Black Ministers Association had to connect with him and encouraged him to make an apology. He gave about an 8-minute apology today. I've been vocal about it, but like Ptah said, and I'm going to let my brother lead the charge on that. He is welcome to come on Hour of Power and explain anything. This goes all throughout central Pennsylvania, and it's not too many platforms, like this in this area.
Yes, sir.
So it would far reach. So we're telling you straight up right now, if you want to come on the Hour of Power, contact me or Ptah, especially Ptah, and we can move forward. But my way of moving forward is right in front of us with Mr. Kyle
For sure.
Moore, with Men in the Kitchen, Skillets to Plate, Pecan Tree. It's enough to go around.
Gito.
It ain't no Gito, Mark Simpson at the Penn Street Market.
Yep.
It is
Ethel
no
Barbecue.
reason for brothers to be hating on brothers or sisters to be hating on sisters. It is enough to go around for everyone. Just like Gito gave you a compliment just now. That warmed my heart because he ain't saying, oh, this, and that. Ain't no reason for us to be hating on each other.
Sure.
It is enough to go around. It's enough to go around. Enough said. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautifully put. That is the movie. I forget the movie that I was watching. It was movie a couple of days ago. It was two black men coming together. It seemed like it was gonna be a terse interaction. He said, "You got a beautiful energy about you, brother. You got a beautiful energy about you. I hope you have a good day, brother." It was somewhat of a comedy, but like if we can have a world where we can just uplift one another and not have that scarcity, mindset. And then again, shout out to you. The little thing that I did pick up, you were saying about, remember Shareef? You listen to people, you know what I mean? So you said like the Fish Friday, that's the mindset to have. Everything is a gift. You might you get an idea, to kind of fine tune or refine what you got going on, to actually have that ability to have that open ear from people who love you and actually put that into motion. That speaks volumes. And for individuals that's out there, we can share a little bit. Just because we're in the same kind of venue, maybe competition, so to speak. If you see your brother, and I think one small thing that help put him on the right path, I believe that's the frequency. And it may be kind of strange, but I think this is the new normal, and my energy, and I commend you for that, so we can make that go viral, so we can lift each other up.
Yeah, and there's a lot of us that are good at what we do, great at what we do, but we just lack that opportunity. Like I said, I tried to get several places before I ended up where I am in York, and I was turned down. And this reason, that reason, whatever it may be, like if they did any kind of research to see who I am, I think the response would have been different. But when you look at somebody on paper versus what they could really bring to the table, that's two different things. A lot of times. So they didn't know my background and my following, and I didn't want to get into all that. I just wanted to get in there off my own merit and what I could provide. So just to speak about the Harrisburg location, which I still want to do something great like this in New York City, but it's just the opportunity, knowing the right people. That's what we're held back. Those connections, those right people. I've never been a big talker, but I've always been good with actions. You know what I mean? I've always been
Hold
a man
that
of my
thought,
word.
brother.
Come on. Yes, you are live on the Hour of Power broadcast, man. That's who I'm speaking to?
Rand's West.
Okay. We can hear you very well. If you could turn down the device or whatever you're listening to right now, because we're getting kind of a little bit of feedback. You can just turn the television or the laptop or whatever mobile device. But yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead. What do you have to share?
What separates you from the seafood places in the 717 area?
Did you hear that?
I didn't hear the first part.
I'm sorry. Would you say that again a little slower?
What separates you from other seafood areas? Other seafood places in the area.
What separates you from
I don't necessarily know what separates us, but I do know that everything we make in-house is fresh. We're not pulling that out the freezer and just putting it in the oven. Everything we make in-house is fresh. It's flavorful. We offer different sauces that a lot of people around here don't offer, whether it's our Men in the Kitchen sauce, our secret sauce, and then we also have our boozy sauces, where we have the Peach Crown barbecue sauce, we have the Hawaiian Henny barbecue sauce, and then we also have chocolate cherry, which is something a lot of people say, I don't know about that, but then when you let them taste it, they're like, hey, let me get them chocolate cherry wings. You know what I mean? And then we do the Krabby Butter wings, where you can add real crab meat. So as long as people, they're kind of like, I spend my money, I want to get something I like, so they're a little hesitant, but once they get it, they're like, oh yeah, this is good. You know what I mean? So that's what separates us, our different sauces, and the fact that everything is made fresh and flavorful on the spot. So you might wait a little longer for your wings, because they're not frozen, they're fresh. You might wait a little longer for your items, but when you get it, it's going to be worth the wait.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for
Thank you.
calling
Have
in.
a nice night.
Yep, you too. Anybody else want to call in any question and any type of support? Number 717-846-5067.
Yeah, so back to the Harrisburg fight. That's how we ended up down there. It used to be the firehouse. So on 2nd Street, 606 2nd Street. It had a long history, a good history. People love the firehouse. But they've been closed for a couple years now. Owner was looking to sell, and the good thing is that he was willing to sell us the liquor license. And that's one thing, whether you drink or don't drink, if you know anything about business, like that's big.
Yeah.
That can help you get over the hump when your food might not be selling as much as you need it to sell. I don't know personally a lot of minorities in this area that own a liquor license. Why that is, I know they're expensive, but just our access to that is very limited. And there's some people that have access to a liquor license, but having access and owning it is two different things. So that's a big key, and that's a part that we're still working on. It's kind of holding us up with the transfer of liquor license, waiting on the LCB. But once we get that, I feel like the opportunities will be endless. We have 3 floors. The 3rd floor will be an event space where we'll have live jazz performances. We'll have brunch buffets Saturday and Sunday every weekend. We'll have saxophonists come through, violinists, different local bands with a jazz vibe.
Okay.
Something that you can get here without having to go to DC or Philly. That's what we want to give you here. An expanded menu, a lot of specialty beverages and drinks and things like that. So that's what we needed. And Harrisburg gave us that opportunity. So that's why we're going with Harrisburg. I was like, why not York? Why? Listen, my heart's in York. I wanted to do it here. There's still some spots that I have an eye on, but that gentleman there, he actually lives in D.C. He owned the building. He came, he called us and said, hey, what I got to do to help you guys get this? Didn't know us. He just was researching us, looking us up online. He said, I want to come to your restaurant in York. Let me come there and see what it looks like, look at your menu, and we'll talk. And that was big for me because most people, if they trying to sell a building, they got a real estate agent, they're letting them handle that. They're not coming. He told the real estate agent, meet me there. I'm going to see these guys' restaurant.
You came through.
Came through.
Good time.
Came through.
Beautiful.
Came through, looked at the menu, looked at the kitchen, seen the setup. And he was like, yeah, I'll give you guys a call. And we've been working from there. So.
I mean, this, as Ptah says sometime, this is a great time to live in. Do you remember just 15, 20 years ago, we had no black restaurants. You had maybe someone selling a dinner here or there, but just 15, 20 years ago, unless I'm wrong, there were no black restaurants. There were no choices, and if it was here, and then the next night it was gone. I mean, and like I said, it's enough to go around, but I mentioned that on my podcast the other night. We didn't have any choices, back in the day. It was, what's that place out there on Route 30 around?
What was that one out there that was like a little bar type of little thing on Parkway Boulevard? What's
Woody
that
Bennett.
called? Woody, yeah.
That's been gone now, man.
Yeah. And the thing is, back then is you had to have somebody who was a football player to do something like that.
True.
You know what I mean? And the other places that we did consider black establishments and things like that, they might have been run by us, but the owner wasn't us. I mean, so there were some.
We had what's my brother name? He passed away. His family is very well known. The Kennedys.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had
little
one here and there,
but
like
it wasn't no
longevity.
option. Yeah,
there wasn't no option. It's
there
like
wasn't no option.
Yeah.
Now we have options.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
tonight we talking about men in the kitchen.
and it's
Go check
it's
them
come a
out.
long way. Like we can get to some of the leasing the real estate now. We can lease or possibly buy if we can afford that, which is the first step. Now we're getting in the door, but now when we get in the door, how much help are we getting? How much access to the free money are we getting? How do we come about getting that money? Getting with the right people that can help us with that. How are we getting to that, again, that mighty thing, that license, license to sell the beverages. A lot of places around here have gone to the brewery licenses. I mean, that's helped them, but it's still not, for the most part, any minorities that had that kind of access.
Well, switching gears a little bit, because you're very, versatile in what you do. And I know we have a lot of the, same interests, man. What's going on with your Lakers, man?
Oh man.
Hey, we just talking about one of them. I got here it is.
They got off to a good start, but
Yeah, but
mm-hmm.
I honestly think, again, I love what LeBron has done. I love the career he's had, the role model he's been, family man, businessman, doing it with his friends. Like, I love all that stuff, but in short, it's time for Bron to get out the way. He can still play.
Yeah, he
But-
can.
But you got Bronny
feel
there
like-
now. He can set it down and let Bronny take over.
I feel like it's holding the team back because I ain't going
Ain't going for
to
that.
feed into that.
Ain't going for that.
But I feel like it's holding the team back because it's time to go another direction and rebuild. And that's just it. He can still play, no doubt. But I just think it's time for LA to just do another completely rebuild. He bought a title, but him, AD, those guys are eating up a lot of money. So I think it's time to spread it out and just time to rebuild. So that's where I think
How far did they
need
get
to
in the
go with that.
playoffs this year? It's still a good team, right?
They didn't make the playoffs last
Yeah,
year,
they
did
did
they?
last
They
year.
did.
They got to Denver. Denver.
Oh,
they got-
yeah.
They got far. They got to the Final Four at least.
Yeah, they got to Denver. Denver knocked them off. But just again,
Still.
Denver's a youthful team. They got the MVP. Like, I don't see them getting past Denver.
Oh, look, comparing everybody
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Got
When you
the,
compare everybody,
West is
Minnesota
very
with
competitive,
Edwards
man.
there.
yeah, you talk about Dallas with Kyrie and Luka if they're healthy.
And Clay.
I mean, yeah, I just think, and you see a young team in Cleveland. Cleveland's undefeated.
Yeah.
They're young, they're active, and they're playing good team basketball.
Yeah, they played tonight.
So I just think it's just a youth movement where it's just time to rebuild and get younger.
I want to go to a Sixers game, but I'm half afraid that the ones I want to see ain't gonna be available.
Yeah, man, ain't like when we was coming up,
See a
man.
G League lineup out there.
Yeah,
spend all that
Isaiah
money, you
and
can't-
Jordan, all them was easy putting out 80, 82 games
Yeah.
like it wasn't nothing,
Yeah,
man.
you
They
don't want to
just-
spend that money and you get there and
Yeah.
half the team ain't playing. And you
Right.
know.
Right, they don't want to do back to backs. They want to do the load management. Just like, man, I'm real hesitant to buy a ticket. Me and Ed was talking about that,
Yeah.
about getting a ticket, but we have to be cautious with the
Yeah.
Sixers, man.
Yeah.
So it just like you said, you hit the nail on the head. It ain't like it used to be, man.
Probably got to catch a WNBA game. You know, they got some competitive games. Don't
They
shit
don't
on
be taking off a bunch of games.
Nah,
now that you said
they
that,
They
can't-
ball,
listen,
yo. That's some real balling right there.
They can't afford to take off.
Yeah.
The salaries they're getting paid.
yeah.
Yeah. Now some of them, when they got the endorsements and all that, they're doing well, but the takeoff from them is gonna hurt them. And these guys, they make some money.
They don't got a WNBA team around here, do they?
Nah.
The
I don't even know what the closest one is.
I think
DC?
Washington Mystics. Yeah, that's probably the closest.
Oh, Washington is the closest
Yeah,
one.
they still there. Yeah.
Changing gears again. What was your mindset about this time last week with the election? Or was it the week before? I don't know.
Time is flying. So.
It's flying.
Yeah, that was
Although,
last week.
my mindset is just as it was, it is now, is we need to get out and vote. If you look at the numbers of total percentage of black males and under the age of 30 that actually got out and voted, it wasn't high. It was very low. And that's type of things that affect the final results.
Yeah.
You got to get out and vote. And I think some families, they make it a thing where they're getting out and voting. They take their whole families. They take their sons, their daughters. I think that more of, especially black men, and in general, both men and women under 30 need to get out and vote. We've got a lot of Facebook voters. You know what I mean? A lot of social media opinions of voters, that's not going to get the job done or get who you want in office. You have to physically go out and take that time, whatever it is. A lot of places around here don't have long lines like they do in Philly and places like that.
I walked right in when I went in the morning.
Yeah. You have to get out and vote and not just speak up on Facebook. That's not going to get things done. It takes action, old school action. Got to get out there.
Everyone has a right to vote for him, vote for her, or not vote at all. But do you see anything positive with him being in office?
What I see positive is I think that people who feel like he is the answer and going to get things going right. Positive thing is now we get to see. You know what I mean? Because if he would have lost, it'd been, see, now no change happened. It's going to get worse, this and that. But now we get to see. So
Money where your mouth
yeah,
is.
so let's see. Let's see. Hey, if it works out well, I'm all for it. But now we get to see. And then in 4 years, hopefully we come with 2 brand new faces, some new life, candidates. Hopefully I'm all for younger people getting into politics. Hope we get some younger people with the right energy, with the right direction, and just have 2 new fresh candidates that can carry on, either improve what didn't work out or add on to the success that was made. So.
And we have to pay more attention to local politics because that's what really affects our quality of life. Whether you're in York, New York, Chicago, the local politics and positions and policies is what makes the difference. Not so much the national election, you know. The local elections is what really, you know, makes a difference. So we have to stick together either way. People talking about it's going to get bad. It's been bad for us. Talking about it's going to get bad. It's been bad for us since we stepped foot in North America. It's been bad
You
for
black,
us.
you survived. You survived 8 years of Bush.
That's why people say, they say, you're so calm. And I'm like, you've been through so
Is.
much.
It
Like,
is.
it's another
It is
day.
what. Yeah, it
It's
is
another
what it
day.
is. Another day at the office. It is
Another
what
day.
it is. But definitely local elections is things that we need to pay attention. And a lot of times we forget that because we're just so tuned into the national election. That isn't things that really change your quality of life. You know, locally. And you hit the nail on the head. Getting our young people, you know, involved. When they came out for Obama in '08, it was a record. Young people. I still don't think I don't know the exact, you know, numbers, but I know it was a record amount of young people that came out. Why? Because they saw some hope. Now, what he actually did, that's another topic, but they saw some hope, so we came out in record numbers, and you know.
And no matter how people say I could just go off of myself, while Obama was in, I don't know if it's just a perception thing of a minority man being educated, the way he spoke, the way he carried himself. I felt different going into job interviews. So even if he did, I don't know what his final results, what he actually did for, what they say for us, but I felt more like inspired. You know what I mean? I can't be the president. I don't feel like a president, but I can go into this interview with a suit on and feel like they look at me now as I have some knowledge or just the confidence level that it gave me that I can do things.
It definitely
that I
gave
couldn't
people a
do
shot in
before.
the arm.
Yeah, it
And
did.
even the babies, even the ones that can't speak it. Like I said, pictures worth of 5,000 words. So when you just see those images, you can't take those images back.
Yeah,
It's
so-
already started a positive
Yeah,
process.
yeah, a successful black man, a loving wife, a good family, no
Scandals.
scandals. Like that right there,
It's big.
yeah, that right there gave me confidence in being able to do things that I didn't think I could do. Finish school, get that degree, things like that. And that's why I say it's what you make it as well, because people can say how, on some side, how bad it is in the Biden, how we're struggling, everybody's struggling. But I've opened 2 businesses, working on a 3rd, and have traveled more than I've ever traveled. I have more disposable income than I've ever had.
Right. So you really, it's the world that you see. And we said, I didn't say my intro this time, but the depending on the colored glasses, I look at things through a rosy glasses. Depends on the view of the world that you live in. You know what I mean? It means a lot.
You adapt. And that's what we've been known to do all our lives.
That's all we had to.
You put me there, we'll adapt and make the best of the situation. We had no choice.
Right. And talk about traveling. You're taking a trip in the next couple of days. Tell us about that with the fight.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
long time boxing fan, love boxing. Always wanted to see Tyson live. One of my bucket list things I thought would never happen. See Mike Tyson live.
And what's his name he's fighting?
Jake Paul.
Paul, yeah.
Yeah, so another bucket list thing was my favorite comedian and favorite show was Martin. Saw him last week. He was in Maryland area. Went down there and saw Martin live stand up. Got the VIP, got a meet and greet with him. I'll be putting some pictures of that up soon. So that was one thing crossed off. And
Jeez.
this fight was supposed to happen in July. So I was going there for my birthday. My wife bought me tickets for my birthday to go see the fight. And then Tyson had that little health scare, and it got moved to this weekend here. So I'll be leaving tomorrow. Fight's Friday night. I'll see Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, first time on Netflix, hosting a fight. As long as you have Netflix, I think it's free. You can watch as long as you have that subscription. It's going to be in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. I ain't never, it's only that I go there for a fight, but I ain't going to watch them. But it's in the Cowboys Stadium, so it should be fun. I'm going to have some fun. It might not be the Tyson I want to see,
Right.
but I'm still hoping he brush him off a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, but it's going to be a good time. Should be a lot of celebrities there.
Kind of nervous with
Lot going
Tyson with
on.
this, man.
Yeah.
He definitely has to go in there with that same attack style that he's known for.
Yeah.
The longer it goes, like I told you earlier, the more nervous I get for him. But that's always been his
That's always been his thing. I was
approach.
gonna say that.
Ended early,
Even with his younger age, you wanted to try to drag him on to the later rounds. That
Right.
was the word, drag him on to the later rounds. And now, being on 60,
50, yeah.
he definitely got to try to get him out of there early. And I know it's part of it's for the money, but I want to see him. I want to see him fight.
Tyson basically said he doesn't have the experience to hang in there with him, and he's definitely never. I was going to say he never faced no one more like Tyson, but I'm talking about the older Tyson.
Yeah. Because
So,
we can't.
yeah.
That's why Tyson will always be Tyson us. Because we can't get those images out of our head. And they say Tyson's still walking the room today, and people clinch up.
It's that fear factor.
That fear factor. That's what got him through in his prime.
Yeah.
The fight was over before it started. Most of those fights, you could see the
get 'em
the
doubting
fear
themselves.
in their eyes, man.
Listen, man, that man coming
Michael
in with a-
Spink said, "I'm just glad that it's over." You see, he lasted around.
That man coming in with that cut through towel in the neck around his head and black boots with no socks, man.
Yeah.
That's one of the most intimidating looks I've ever seen. I say, guys coming here, all this fancy stuff, and Mike coming in there, cut through towel over his head and some Tim boots with no socks.
I don't know of anyone that caused the fear that that he did, but Vander Holyfield put an end to that.
That's my dude. That's my dude. He'll get you with both hands. That's me growing
I was
up.
a Holyfield fan.
So you've been a boxing fan for what?
Yeah.
Your whole life? How
Whole
old?
life.
Knee high to
Whole
a
life.
grasshopper type
Yeah,
style.
whole life.
I got you.
I was one of the few people when
Who's your favorite? Go ahead.
when he fought Lennox the first time, I put my money on Lennox. I ate up the whole room. Walked out with a pocket full.
Yeah, I knew.
First one, didn't he?
Yeah.
They only fought once,
They only
right?
fought once.
Yeah. I knew Lennox was going to win that fight. He's too big. He has too much of a reach.
He wasn't scared. I can tell he
yeah.
wasn't scared. And
Yeah,
it wasn't
Tyson
that-
was on his way down then anyway.
Well, here's the problem was
He
you
put a lot
got
of parties.
before jail Mike and after jail Mike.
Yeah.
After jail Mike didn't have that same ferocity as
Fear factor.
before jail Mike, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
So he's been your favorite? You have another one before him?
No,
You
my-
predate him.
I would say one of my favorites was coming up with Sugar Ray. I loved
Definitely.
Sugar Ray as a kid.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love
Same.
this style. And then as I got older, Roy Jones.
Oh, I love Roy Jones,
man, I
man.
love Roy Jones. Yep. And then Holyfield, heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
Holyfield.
Heart of a lion, man.
Yep.
Yeah, he's standing toe to toe with you.
Holyfield, he didn't know when to stop fighting. Though all them kids, he had to get had to get some more money. He kept getting in that ring. I'm like, Holyfield, you can't talk straight no more. You got.
You ever have visions of grandeur? You in the ring? You ever think? Would you ever see yourself
Nah, I see myself as a corner man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta put your hands up.
Oh, that's
come to the corner.
There's a lot to learn you can do from a corner man. They're talking to you. They can tell when you being real. Yeah, shout out to the corner
I'm
man.
the corner
out there.
man. I'm gonna tell you how to do it. I ain't getting in there.
Who Pac-Man? Pacquiao? Somebody.
if we,
I got all type of
yeah,
comments on here
Pacquiao.
now.
Yeah. I think if certain circumstances didn't happen, our guest last week, Buddy Gould,
Yeah, yeah.
I think he could have
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
big time in boxing. He said no one around here ever beat him.
In
In
PA,
PA,
Never
yeah.
lost a fight.
Yeah,
Never lost.
Shout out to
Tough.
our guest, Buddy Gould. He's doing some great, some great things. But I hope. How's Antoine Dorm's son been doing? He's been fighting on a national level the last couple years. I haven't heard much recently.
I know
Maybe
they
he
had
took a
that
break or
I
something.
know they had that event locally.
The
What
Grimes
was it? The
Gym?
Grimes
I
Gym.
don't think he
yeah.
fought in that.
No, he
didn't
didn't.
fight?
That was
For
a
younger
man and a
thing,
younger
okay.
young
Yeah, I
lady.
haven't heard much lately. I
Yeah.
thought he was fighting in that, but I didn't.
Well, I
know.
hope he keeps, ascending in that.
Yeah, he's a good child.
in that
That's a good boy
area.
right there. Shout out to Antoine Dorm Jr. And I just want to make mere mention, if you're watching on the White Rose Community Television, we're going to cut off right at 9 o'clock, but you get exclusive access if you're watching us on Facebook. So maybe for next time, if you haven't, make sure you look up Shareef, Hameed, and myself, Ptah Shakur, to get that invite through friends list. But I wanted to kind of spin it just a little bit. I'm kind of ducked down. I got a picture of this beautiful child, Raham. You have so you said you got how old is your child? Your son?
He's
2?
a year and a half now.
Year and a half. Tell a
and a
little
half.
bit of that. You getting some sleep?
Oh man.
Well, how was that when I guess most of it was when it was first
The
born?
first year I wasn't getting much sleep. So you add that into the businesses, having a job. Shout out to my wife. She wasn't getting much sleep
And
either.
we ain't even talk about your time at York Country Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit. We're gonna jump into this. Yes, you are live on air of the Hour of Power broadcast, man. That's who I'm speaking to.
Amphidorum.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for calling in. You coming in loud and clear.
Nice job, gentlemen. I'm taking you back to crab cakes
Okay.
Okay.
with a little bit of history.
Okay.
Okay? So, first of all, this Saturday, starting at 11 o'clock, I will be doing one of the Black History tours in downtown York.
Okay.
We will be starting in the 100 block of North Duke Street. Okay? So what happens with our history is that overwhelmingly the places where prominent black families lived, worked, and worshipped are now parking lots in the city of York. That includes in the 500 block of Cleveland Avenue, which was where Helen Reeves Saxton lived. Her father, John Reeves, purchased about 5 different properties right over there for his family. Do you know how he made his money? He sold crab cakes and oyster sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking
Oyster
in
sandwich.
the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Wow.
He sold crab cakes and oyster sandwiches, but was able to provide for his family. And so I want to put that out to you. You know, when you're talking about crab cakes, and you're talking about, you know, your young person that you are now raising, that you can do this and you can raise your family, but you have that history to stand on. So this Mr. John C. Reeves was a native out of Charles County, Maryland. He came to York, Pennsylvania in 1872, and at one point he was the only known, of course we had used that word colored back then, he was the only colored man in York to write his own autobiography. So when you're making your crab cakes, you think of Mr. John C. Reeves.
Definitely.
Home
This
is now a parking lot on
John
Cleveland
C.
Avenue.
Reeves.
this
Okay.
is the kind of stuff that I hope is in that new Black History Center that they're building. This is the type of stuff I want to learn.
The one with the CA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, well, come for a tour sometime, and I will tell you, I know it's hard with your schedule, but anytime if I have 10 or more people, we just, you know, go ahead and make a time to do that. So thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I definitely
Thank you.
will.
Calling again.
All right, we're going to get ready to sign off on Channel 16 Local Access TV. We can go longer on Facebook, but our brother is very busy and he carved out some time to come do this very powerful interview. So we're gonna get ready to sign off.
But before we do, I got some of these foods back here in the background. I hear about the fried MIK pierogies, the seasoned rice with peppers and onions, the fried salmon BLT, the deep fried Brussels sprouts with chicken apple sausage, sunken crab cake. We got a couple of responses on there. I don't know if we're gonna read some of the comments. They said I forget who said try the sunken crab cake, wings and wine Wednesdays, mozzarella stick, fish fry Friday. So I want to make sure I mentioned them. All sounds mouth watering. And thank you again for like we talking about for Thanksgiving. Some people don't eat turkey meat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I'm like, where can I find me some fish or something like that? So I'm glad there's a place where I can go to that appeals to individuals with
and
my
a couple of
taste.
things I want to touch on there real quick before we get out of here. Those fried Brussels sprouts, the chicken apple sausage. No pork and no chicken apple sausage. I am telling you, that has become.
I don't think I ever had Brussels sprouts in my life.
Listen,
Brussels sprouts is good.
you get them fried, try them regular. But when you come get them fried with that sauce, and what we put on them is a peach crown syrup. That's the topper, to add more flavor.
You come up with this stuff.
But when you try those, nobody else has them. When you try those, you can be like, wow. Like, I have people that.
We should have a show like that, have some food out here.
Yeah, because I was doing that at my house, like when I had cookout sometime, and I had 2-3 people say, man, I don't eat Brussels sprouts. I said, yo, do me a favor and just try it first before you say that. You'll like them like this. They tried them. They put them in their to-go plate. I'm
gonna try them out.
Those fried Brussels sprouts with chicken apple sausage. And I just want to say one thing about the Your Country Day, which you were going to talk about.
Athletics, yeah.
Athletics. Shout out to my younger brothers. There's still some people out there that don't know those are my younger brothers. Same mom, Kevin and Carrie Glover, for doing what they're about to do at Your Kai. Things Kevin has already done. I know those guys are going to make waves and be more than just a good story. Yeah. They're going to make some positive changes, and it's not easy there. It's definitely not easy there. I coached there as freshman coach, assistant on the varsity level. So shout out to them. Me, myself, I'm over at Your Country Day. One of the top academic schools in the area, and I just want to let our people know there is opportunities for us to get in there. So call, set up a tour, go to an open house and see what the school's about. I know you look it up, or you might talk to the academic advisor, the mission director, and you hear it's $24,000 a year. Yes, it is, but there's financial aid programs. There's different things that former students that are now successful businessmen. There's some academic scholarships there for some of the families that don't make a lot of money. There's opportunities there that a lot of us just don't know about. And not being there just as a basketball coach, but there as a mentor, I've gotten people in there that don't play sports. I've helped them get the information they need and told them who to reach out to have a different option for their child. Now, are we going to get 30 kids in? No, there's only so much money to go around. But every summer, there's financial money there. The aid is there. And you might have to pay something. But if you pay $1,200 a year, $2,000 a year versus $24,000, I think that's a pretty good deal with the education you're going to get. And I've seen the improvements when you go into a classroom and there's 12, 15 students versus 30. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. It's tough to learn in that environment for some kids. So
a lot of people don't think that school is an option for them, and it is.
It is an option. It is an option, and like I said, you got to put the time in. It's not easy. The application process is long, but call, schedule a tour. Whether you're doing well financially or ain't. If you're doing well financially, and hey, that's where you want to be, because the numbers don't lie. Their college rate is 99% of their kids go to college.
Wow.
The ones that don't, guess what? They didn't want to go.
Right.
It's not that they couldn't.
Right.
They didn't want to go. So just want to put that out there that option is there, not only for athletes but for our community in general.
Great, man. Well, this has been a powerful, and inspiring interview. And you're welcome back at any time. I know you're busy. You're gonna be even more busy with the Harrisburg location. I'll be coming up there, and I'll be making a visit to try out this. What kind of crab cake is it?
Sunken.
The sunken, yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. So thank you so much for carving out time to come on, and wish you success, and because of recent events, it's gonna be more success, straight up. So
And I tell people, it's power in our social media. We can use that. Like I said, sometimes it hinders us because we're not actually getting out doing what we need to do. But all the sharing, all the tagging, all the recommendations, that free advertisement, it's unbeatable. It's priceless. And I appreciate everybody who comes through, shares, spend their hard-earned dollars, and just put word of mouth out to help us out. I mean, I'd like to do a hour of power from the new Men in the Kitchen restaurant. You know what I mean? You guys could bring the setup. We'll have some food set up on the table. We'll bring some of the customers up to say, hey, how'd you like your meal? I mean, oh, it was good. What'd you like the best? What's your favorite thing here? And just do an hour of power there and have people come through and say, hey, this is what we like about this restaurant. And
let's make it happen.
yeah, make it happen, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate
This is
both
the
of you
Hour
guys.
of Power. Tune in next week, and we'll inform you who our next week's guest is in the next couple of days, God willing. Peace.